Hi, everyone. For my artifact, I chose an article on the 5 greatest examples of change management in business history. These are examples that change management was properly utilized, and it resulted in great benefits for the companies involved. It's from an article from the Chartered Management Institute, which is an institute for management training. I chose this example here with Shell in 2004. It was facing an oil reserve crisis, and it was affecting its share price very negatively. And in addition to that being a problem for the corporation, the CEO had just recently quit abruptly, and a new CEO had taken over. This new CEO decided that the way to help the share price was to create a standardized process for its 80 operating units. It's 80 different units of refineries that they have worldwide. They wanted to implement this new process in a way because they saw that it would affect the overall corporation very positively. It would help its share price, it would help efficiency and productivity, and they would be able to transfer employees from different places around the world and have this be a process that everybody would know and everybody would be able to implement. They named it the Shell Downstream 1 process. So what made this really great is that they employed various different strategies to implement this change. They actually went through all the steps of communicating change properly. They created a sense of urgency in the stock price and all the changes that were happening within the corporation. They formed a guiding coalition in creating a team of experts to be able to handle this change and explain it and implement it properly. They created a vision, and that vision was that they were going to make the company better. They were going to standardize the company. They communicated the vision by creating this process and explaining it. They also came up with a main message of that the standard process across all countries and regions were going to benefit Shell globally, and it would trump local and individual needs because there were a lot of protests that this process was going to make certain local units not work as efficiently or as well as they have with their process that they had in place for a long time. So it was initial roadblocks like that, and this message really helped that. They empowered employees to act on this, and they rewarded employees who took on the role of trying to explain to their coworkers how this was going to work and doing drills and things like that. They created quick wins in that they were awarding people who were going straight in and actually implementing this change right away, understanding it, seeking to understand it. They built in the change in that they kind of tested it out and they made changes to whatever needed to make changes to be the best possible process. And then eventually they institutionalized the change across all their global units after having gone through all the steps very, very well, very properly. They also employed change management strategies to communicate the change. Not only did they employ the communication strategy of equal dissemination because they early on explained the change, they explained everything that was going to happen. They explained it across the entire organization, and they did it on an equal basis. They also employed the need to know strategy in that they told certain employees that were going to be affected by this change. They told them how they were going to be affected, how they could, how this change would have affected their jobs, how it would have affected the operations of their certain units. And they did this so that the managers could explain to their subordinates exactly what was going to go on for them specifically. So they employed those 2 strategies. They also did the tell and sell strategy in that they used certain managers to be able to sell this idea that a globalized, standardized process would be great for Shell in the long term. So those are some of the correlations of this example to the readings. Thank you so much.